Yetta, I think this show is just way too touchy-feely for me.
Okay, I think you've got more emotions than angry and happy. So you can do this.
Okay.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We are thrilled to actually come alongside you on Life's Inside Track and welcome you to yet another episode. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And we're on the interesting side of this conversation as we're being interviewed by Care from CHRI because she thinks she can draw out some stuff that we wouldn't be able to access without her help.
I don't claim to think anything about this.
I think you do.
It's therapy session for us.
Exactly. It's where we're going to share some thoughts and techniques and tips and tools that we probably haven't shared before that you can access to actually help your family thrive and to build wealth wisely through real estate. Yeah. Awkward or what?
I hope the listener knows that you are getting free advice and counsel every time you hear these episodes. Like, this stuff is so good, you guys, so much meat. And I love seeing your family. I've known your family for years, and you guys have adult children now and grandchildren, and it's just beautiful to see. So family is so important to what you guys do. But let's talk about families that you serve and how important it is for you to really tailor your approach to each client based on their family situation and helping them really thrive within the walls of their home.
Okay, that's a fun one. And I think I'm going to start with the younger humans.
Okay.
Because I can remember years back, now it doesn't happen quite as often, because I think a lot of times people will get daycare providers when they're out looking at property and they have wee little ones because they know they can't focus. And it's actually a recommendation I'll often make. If the baby's not nursing, and even if they are, maybe you can find a solution to sneak out for a few hours because you're going to be more present. I didn't know to say that early on. I didn't know to say, hey, this is going to be harder on you if you can't be fully available. So I've done lots of babysitting. I was known as the babysitter. Well, the parents looked at the house. I attempted to navigate and hold the kids and car seats and all that sort of stuff. Now it's more when someone chooses to bring a toddler, as long as they hold the hand. It's hard on the kid. It's hard on the parent. So ideally, again, daycare is a great solution. And then as they get to be 5, 6, 7, 8, up to about 15, 16, if possible, I actually encourage families to keep their kids home or elsewhere until they find the house. And the reason being is kids get excited, can you believe this, Care, about the pink dollhouse,
of course,
or about the bicycle,
yes,
or some other aspect.
A swing in the backyard,
but stuff that doesn't even stay, right? Like the stuff that isn't even part of the transaction or part of the purchase.
Yeah, cool bunk beds.
Cool bunk beds. And now this is the perfect house, whereas the parents are going, no, it's not it. So when I run into a situation where the parents felt it was best to bring the kids because they thought this was the one. Yeah. And I just happened recently, actually, where the little girl said, Mommy and Daddy, we're not buying this house. We are not buying this house. And I've known the little girl for a while now. And I just said, oh, what makes it a bad house for you guys? Well, it's not near any of my friends. And I don't know anybody that lives here. So I think the personalization question is talking to the person that has the struggle, whether they're 6 or 10 or 12, it doesn't matter, and discovering a little bit more. And now in this particular case, I happen to know the kids that lived across the street because they were clients as well. So I was able to alleviate her concern. And by the time they were leaving with no other impetus from me, like nothing, she goes, this is the house we're going to get. And it actually is. I love it. Because it was the right house for the parents. Yeah. So that's, I mean, can I always pull off that one? No. And yet you can always find a way to connect. So it's how do I relate? How does Ken, how does Candace, Ryan, all the team members relate to the person before the situation?
Yeah, and I think sometimes we say, oh, we're marriage counselors as well, but we say that jokingly because sometimes the man has a different idea about what he's looking for than what the woman is looking for.
Vice versa.
Or vice versa. And so sometimes we get to mind melt those two different ideas together because the house doesn't exist that would fully meet both of their needs. Right? So getting in, talking about that, talking about what's important, what is an option, like we could do without that, or we could build this later. Like many times for it's guys, it's a man cave, or it's a shop, or a garage or something, right? And we go, well, as long as we got space to build that, will that be okay? Yeah, I could live with that. And so we work out, and it's really emotional, actually, not so much for me, but for the clients, because they're going to something new. They're leaving the familiar and going to something that's a new start or a new beginning, or has something that their old place doesn't have. And so it's an emotional journey for everybody.
And that's why we jokingly talked about emotions at the beginning, because you need to be able to touch their emotion.
Yes.
To be able to help them navigate it.
Just don't get stuck in it.
Don't get stuck in it.
I think that's wise, as from a business perspective too, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, that you're thinking when you're dealing with a client, don't forget about their family, because their family matters to them. Therefore, it needs to matter to us too. So can you talk a little bit about that approach, and maybe even share some advice for other people who are salespeople or own businesses, and just how important it is for them to approach business still putting value on family? Because for a lot of people, they do come together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much every family will have somebody in the family, extended or wherever, who owns a business, is an entrepreneur, or has a part-time business. And so we want to support those people as well. And that's one of the reasons we're bringing the Ultimate Sales Machine Boot Camp to Ottawa. We're bringing the author on June the 5th. And we want to support businesses, because business people are struggling. They're struggling emotionally. They're struggling with their profitability, their cash flow. And we really want to support them in being able to maximize their profits, build more sales, and regain some of the time, because sometimes entrepreneurs lose their life to their business. And we believe that's really important. So that's something we do outside of real estate. And we're doing it just because we care about people's emotions.
Well, because your family connects to not just your house, but it connects to everything, right? So whether you're a family of two, or whether you're a family of two with a furry friend, right, a furry family member, or whether you're a family of 10, the point is there's people you're in relationship with that need to be accounted for. So I think to attempt to answer the question, hopefully directly, is it's relate to not just the one person, relate to the whole family.
That's right. Yeah.
And not just relate to the situation.
That's how you go from being a salesperson to someone who serves.
And that hopefully can be trusted.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if I'm fixated on the logistics only, I still have to be good at the logistics. I still have to know how to navigate all the stuff of real estate. And hopefully after 35 years, that's kind of, you can do in your sleep, right? Yes? I do it in my sleep.
I hear you talking in your sleep.
I do often. And so that's kind of the cool thing. We get to focus on the human.
Yeah.
And the people in their lives.
Yeah. So with this sales workshop, this boot camp, pardon me, one more takeaway. What's one more thing people can expect from this boot camp that's going to be really practical, non-real estate people even?
No, because it's anybody that owns a business. You're actually going to walk away with some strategies and framework that you haven't done before that will increase your sales and decrease the amount of time you have to give to your business and increase profitability.
And that's why at the end of this segment, we always say we love positioning you to build wealth wisely, because it's about much more than just money.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward.